How's that work? Cool. Dang, give me my finger back. Good morning, everyone. I feel like you're too far away. Let's do this. Let's do this, y'all. You're coming. Whoa, too far. Good morning. What's up, Richard? Oh, it's cold here, guys and gals. It's like hitting 30s at night and barely 60s during the day. It's just not warming up. I'm good, man. Tired. I overslept. I don't have much of a game plan for today, although I never really do. We could continue the topical seasonality discussion of what's going on with the weather, which is redundant and repetitive, but maybe y'all are interested. I'm hoping somebody will pop on here with some questions once we get cruising. What's up, Dan? I've decided to have this girl join me this morning. This is an import West Papuan carpet female that I brought in. Well, there was a group of us that went in on a group of these guys that were imported, because you can import carpets from Papua still, Papua New Guinea. So I've raised this girl up since she was a little baby, and she's actually showing a lot of interest in wanting to breed this year. So I've had her paired up with a male who came in with that group as well, who's also an imported West Papuan group. Congrats, man. Yeah, they're really nice. They're really nice. They're pretty much across the board really awesome temperament animals. They have so much subtle variety with them too. Yeah, man, she looks great. Like, right, it's hard to see because, you know, the camera only does so much, but like I'm seeing oranges and lavenders and grays and stuff, so that's pretty cool. But they change colors a lot. And they'll like fire up and fire down. So like in the evening, especially around like 6 o'clock or so, you'll see them just blazing with color. But first thing in the morning around 8, they're kind of just sleeping and just dull. So yeah, the male is super interested in her. She's kind of still going along. She's got to, you know, come into season a bit. Morning, Kenny. The tricky part about trying to raise up imported animals is you don't really have a hatch date. Like, I got these guys when they were babies, so I know pretty much how old they are. But there isn't really like, oh, they were hatched out in this year, so you can kind of start looking for signs of maturity around this. Like, it's just kind of been just watching them and waiting for them to be ready, which is a great sort of natural lesson to learn. Good morning, Terry. One of the things with carpet pythons, if you're waiting on maturity, is the head. You'll see like just much more musculature in these back areas. It just kind of gets a little bit more developed and kind of bulky and more angular. And you'll start seeing that as a sign of maturity with a lot of these animals. This girl took a little while to get up to this size because she was a relentless mouser for the first 2 years. And then over the last 8 months, we've got her on rats, and she's a stud now. What up? What's going on, boys? Hey. Oh, man. Morning, John. Morning, Jeff. Morning, guys. Morning. We're covering the spread. We got East Coast, West Coast, and in the middle, we got Southeast. We got everywhere. That's awesome. New York, dude. Yeah, we're covering the spread. So it is that time of year where the activity in the snake room slows down other than just pairing. Like, I do have some rodents thawed to feed today, but it's like a fraction of what I normally feed. So right now, most of my attention is being given to just keeping things clean and watching the adults. And this year, I am transitioning to cycling the younger animals too, so I'm paying attention to their changes in appetite behavior. I'm offering them food less and smaller meals, or at least that's the game plan moving forward. So a lot of the younger animals that would be eaten like every 7 to 10 days are gonna maybe eat once a month during this cool down. I just don't want them sitting with full bellies in the cold, because I'm pretty much gonna cycle every rack that isn't a baby rack. So we'll see. Curious to see how everybody does with it. It's already pretty cold, so animals are definitely showing signs without me even having to cycle. The ambient in the room during the summer was hitting like 82, and right now I think it's maybe 68. So it's a big difference. So they definitely slow down and show you that they're picking up on those cues. We're expecting rain this week, I think Wednesday. And if you talk to anybody who loves breeding pythons and boas, they love those pressure storms. When it rains, you get a barometric pressure drop. These snakes pick up on it, and for whatever reason, they really like breeding during that. I don't know if it's just like some instinctual cue that the timing is right for like them later on down the line, as far as like aiming for when to lay eggs at a most fortuitous time for babies to have the best opportunity and length of period to feed. So I've got everybody separated for the most part right now, with the exception of the children's pythons, because they don't care, they'll breed. It should help with the fires. Yeah, hopefully it'll help with the air quality. Right now we've got the worst air quality in the world, beating out Hong Kong. You walk outside and there's just like this low level of smoke everywhere, and it tastes and smells like a bonfire. If you've ever seen those like post-apocalyptic movies where there's some like character like left in this destroyed city and everything's gray and smoke, that's kind of what Sacramento is right now. So come visit. Nah, the rain will help though. But what I've been noticing is my Amazon tree boa is cuddling up more. The animals, when they're separate, the females in particular are spending pretty much exclusively all their time on the heat, and the males are just wandering. Like, I changed waters yesterday, and half of those boys have destroyed them, like got bedding in them or just flipped them or whatever, because they're just pacing. They're just picking up pheromones all day. So I'm giving everybody a few more days. The rough game plan was to aim for Thanksgiving as the time to start the gradual decrease in change of the hotspot temps. As you are well aware, the ambient has been doing that without waiting on my schedule, which is fine. It's sort of like a precursor, so it's kind of been giving everyone the heads up that, like, not going to get any more food. Yeah, so I've been doing some like intro pairings this week, and so I'm giving everyone a break. No, I'll be introducing during the cooldown. I've already paired, or at least given the males a chance to meet their females this week. But I will start pairing, like hardcore pairing, like keeping it going. The Papuans, the coastals, and the jungles. I've already seen locks from my jungles, the striped jungle and that big girl. They seem to be getting along nicely, so fingers crossed they keep doing their thing. I've been seeing some interest in this girl and her mate, which is great. The children's are already locking up. So, and then the Darwins are not really interested. That it'll be interesting to see what I get with the Darwins. That male is, he's shy. The female's young. They're plenty big and mature. It'll be their first go around, so we'll see. And then, so I actually had an incident yesterday where I had my tiger male aptly named Ripstick, from a very early age, in with my caramel girl down at the bottom of this stack. And that caramel girl's every bit of 7 feet. I probed her, I sexed her as a baby, so like it's a female. I had the tiger in there for a few days, and I tried breeding him last year, and he's a one-track mind. It's food and kill everything. When he's with a female, he like slows down a bit, but he's really like not focused. You can tell. He's still just kind of sitting and doing his thing and hoping for food. And so he'd been in with the caramel for a few days just to like, you know, like get his mind set with this cold winter. He hasn't had a meal in 3 weeks. But I was trying to get him out with a hook from the back. I was trying to fish him out and pull him past the caramel, and he freaking grabbed her, bit her, wrapped her up, and then she just kind of went and like pretzeled him too. And so he was biting her and like stretching skin, and she was like bending his jaw backwards, and I was like, oh crap. So I had to get my hands in there and basically unhook his teeth and stuff, and he lost a few teeth, and I shed some blood. He definitely like sank his whole bottom jaw into my finger while I was trying to get it out. The female, I can't even tell where he got her because they're so dang tough. He just kind of got through some scales and that was it. He lost a few teeth. But clearly what that's telling me is he's still thinking of food. It's probably still early for them. She's been pacing around like, so she probably wasn't interested with him being in there, and I should have read those signs a little bit more. My thing is, I know he's hard to get interested, and I know she's an active female. So to me, that seemed normal. First time for everything. Lesson learned. I'll be waiting for pairing him till it's like nice and cold. I hope he can focus because last year he didn't focus. If he's not focused, by December or something, I'll probably combat him. And because I combated him last year, and that was the most attention I'd seen out of him towards anything that wasn't food. If anybody, does anybody here know what combating is? Hey, good morning, Cecilia. Combating's kind of controversial. People don't like it. They think it's involuntarily. They equate it to like dog fighting because it's like they don't need to be fighting. So why are you doing that? But in the wild, a lot of exactly. A lot of species of pythons, even rattlesnakes here in North America, they combat. See, that's taking it into that dog fighting realm there, Dan. The idea is you want them both to win. So here's a general rule of thumb with combating. You never want it to last more than a couple minutes. You want to keep your eyes on them the entire time. Don't walk away. And what you do, what I've done and what I've heard others sort of use as their method is they'll have the big cage with the female preferably, and they'll put a male in there, and then they'll toss another male in while that female's present, and it sort of creates a territorial like instinct drive. Like that male's all of a sudden threatened, and he's got to bully that other male out of his territory so he can claim rights to that female. And you'll see a lot of really agitated motions and slamming and body slamming. It usually doesn't come to biting or anything, especially if you're on top of it. It's usually just wrestling. And Carpet FC. Oh my god. I can see where this is going. And the idea is you get their testosterone fired up, and right when you're about to have like a really clear winner beat the snot out of the other guy and like really deject him, you pull him and you let that one male be with his female, and all of a sudden he's like, yeah, I won, he's gone, this is my lady. And then you put that other dude who was about to lose in with his female, and all of a sudden he's like, hey, I'm here with a female, that guy's gone, I must have won. So that's the logic behind it. Definitely watch your animals. What are you doing? Hey, cat walked in the snake room. Jimmy. Alright, what are you doing? He knows this is a dangerous room. I got snakes out, bud. Anyway, that's a little rundown on combating. I did it last year. Maybe that's Well, anyway, I got the granites to breed last year, so it must have worked with him. But I didn't get the coastals to breed last year. It's not a necessity, so don't feel like I'm telling you you're gonna have to combat. Most of these animals will breed just fine when they're good and ready, and that's kind of the logic. But this tiger male I have, he's the exception to the rule. He is every bit of what those horrible stereotypes of carpet pythons are. He's a biter. He's aggressive. And I'm not like misusing the word aggressive. He's not like defensive. It is a food response, but he's like, he seeks it out. He's really like actively pursuing it. And to me, because he's actively pursuing, trying to eat whatever's touching him and that stimuli, it's kind of aggressive. So he's a bit intense. So he is a little bit more work as far as getting his brain to switch over. I'm hoping the cold here will help me a lot more than it did last year and previous years in Santa Barbara, because it never got this cold there. So, oh well. Hopefully I don't have to, but I'm prepared to. The nice thing is I've got enough males breeding. Dude, he's a jerk. He's really rude. I've had years of really not pleasant experiences with him trying to like bite me. He's bit me in the crotch and like missed, you know, a very sensitive area by like that much, and just yanked on my shorts. I picked him out as a baby and like was making progress with him too and getting him to mellow out early on, and he just like took a left turn and was like, nah, dark side. So I should have named him Darth Vader, but whatever. Yeah, so that's that. That was cool. We hadn't talked about combating. I didn't think about that as a relevant topic for this season or this episode. Can you believe this is episode 10? This is the 10th time. We've been doing this for almost 3 months. That's wild. That's a trip. Me getting on here and running my mouth. And you guys keep coming back. I've still got t-shirts. If anyone's interested. 10th, yeah, 10th anniversary, 10th time. Not years. What'd you guys think? Have I used sheds? I have. I think they've got to be fresh. They've got to be like, you got to collect them and don't let them sit in and air out, because when they air out and dry out, I think they lose a lot of the funk that would be effective. So last year I tried using sheds before I resorted to combating, and I didn't get much. I didn't get much result. I had a lot of factors working against me last year. Animals are still growing up. A couple of them still are, but Santa Barbara, like, the winter doesn't drop cold. Like, even if I turn the hot spot off to try and drop things down to like 70, I'd be lucky if it got to 70 at night in the winter down there inside, even with like windows open and stuff. So it was tricky. So I'm hoping for more success here. But the other factor working against me this year is that I just moved in February. So, you know, these animals might still be acclimating that last little bit. They're obviously eating and settled in well, but as far as breeding goes, they'll tell you when they're good and ready. So we'll see. This girl isn't big. She's around, 900 grams or so. And the only reason why I know that, because I don't ever weigh my snakes, is because I was curious. They're a smaller species. She's got her mature head. So does the male. They're eating big meals. Their growth rate has slowed down significantly. They're just maturing, and I'm wondering if, I was curious what has been noticed as far as when these guys have bred. And I've heard of, females breeding around like 800 grams. So she's got the maturity. She takes medium rats. So, what size rats do my Darwins take? My male is actually a mouser. He was a slow starter, and through the series of events, got him to finally settle on frozen thawed mice, and he'll take those like a champ, even 2 at a time. And being a male and around 3 years old, and he's got that mature head, that bulky muscle in the back, I don't really care if he gets up to rat, so I'm okay with him eating mice. You know, cheaper meal. He's got good girth to him. He's got good fat stores, healthy stools and everything. So unless something changes and he's like not getting what he needs out of those mice, and I see something going wrong, he'll probably stay a mouser. And then that girl right there, that's the albino Darwin female. She eats large rats, and that's a big meal. Like probably in the off season, like in between, like once we've gotten away from the breeding season, it's the middle of the year, I'll probably be giving her more like medium rats, and then as we cycle back around to any potential trying of breeding with her, then go back to large rats. She takes them no problem, but it's a hefty meal. She would do just fine on mediums, but Darwins stay a little bit smaller. You know, you don't need to have them huge. If you run racks exclusively, Darwins will do great in rack systems as adults. Females will do great in a 41 quarter or CB70, whatever you use, or even a boa tub if you go bigger. You can get them, you know, good size, but they don't need to be huge. So, yeah, and you know, if you're thinking about what's healthy and what fits your schedule, if you don't see any issue with it, keeping them on the smaller side, it's a little more affordable for you on your wallet. So, you know, the current train of thought is less is more with a lot of animals too. 3x2x12. Yeah, I would say that's probably perfect. She's probably right around 6 feet, maybe just shy of it. I consider her a big one, and she's in that 4-footer, and it's excessive. She doesn't even use all of it. In the summer, she would cruise around a little bit at night, but it's a lot of room for her. And when I put the male in there, he just disappears. You can't even see him. So 4 foot is like luxurious, I would say, for Darwins. If AP Animal Plastics still has those Anthony Caponetto carpet cages, they're like 3 foot by 2 foot deep by like 18 inches tall and with a shelf in there. And for most people I've heard who get the cages with shelves or any sort of shelving apparatus in there, as opposed to perching like a flat shelf, the carpets really love them. So I'm curious to try those out. The other thing, if any of you follow my channel other than on Sundays here, the video I released about more coffee. The video I put out on Friday with the Amazon tree boas that cleared quarantine and those new perches, those are advertised as like an Amazon tree boa and carpet perch, because instead of just like one sort of point of contact frame and crosses, there's a lot of them. So for I think the train of thought is that for animals that aren't like chondro perches where they find like that one and drape, and they kind of do more of like a multiple points of contact, those could be great. So if anybody's like wanting more for your tubs to have something for your animals to climb on, those tub perches are fantastic, and they have options with a deli cup water holder right in there. Makes cleaning so easy. Pull the water out, bloop, pop the new one in. I did all their water cleaning in 30 seconds. And then as far as mess goes on the bottom, you just pick the whole thing up, put it off to the side, clean, and put it back in. And if your animal's chill, it'll just sit right on the thing. And I mean, I did some spot cleaning for the Amazons because I got them all on dirt, and I literally just like picked up the perch with one hand and with the other just went scooped, tossed, put it down, whoop, done. Super easy, super easy. The animals took to those perches naturally. They love it. I have to say sorry to my girlfriend because she's walked in a few times with me just sitting here staring at them, because I'll pull the tubs out and I'll just sit and watch them because they're all coiled up like in a nice, beautiful little concentric circle in those leaves. And, oh, I love it. I love watching their behavior, even if it means they're doing nothing. So if anybody is curious, the company that makes those perches is Specialty Enclosure Designs. They have Facebook. Do I have any of the tub conversion, like the sliding door kits? I don't. Those are next, actually. I have some big old tubs that I want to put my I want to do a tub system for my adult Amazons in here. So I've got some cages that are going to go. I'm kind of going on the DIY stuff, so I'll try that. But I wanna try like the tubs. They work really well for moisture. Will I ever get into scrubs? You know, I think if I were to get into scrubs, there'd be some like minimum like things on my checklist that I have to check off before I felt comfortable getting them for the sake of them, not for my abilities or wants. I think with how many animals I have in the space that I'm limited to, there's no way to guarantee that like I'd be able to raise a scrub through adulthood in the space I have right now and do it comfortably and not like slight the animal as far as space and care. My girlfriend and I are looking to buy a house in the next couple years. We have a lot of things that we want to do once we have the space. I would get scrubs if I had a considerably larger reptile room, a larger budget, and maybe a little more free time. I currently have 2 jobs, and then I'm coming to you guys every week and trying to stay on top of building a portfolio and the website and stuff. Yeah, so the only snake allowed in the bedroom is my girlfriend's wild type ball python. She is the law. But yeah, that's the only snake allowed in there. There's a whole corner in there that I have like eyeballed for a rack of more Amazons and stuff that she doesn't watch this stuff, so I can say whatever I want. She will openly tell me she doesn't watch my videos, so I do have plans to like take over and annex a whole wall in the bedroom. I've already got the incubator in there, so like the foot's in the door. But in all honesty, I'm kind of getting to the point where I have as many projects as I can handle. 6 months ago, yeah, probably 6 months ago, if you'd asked me about bows, I'd told you the only have I slept with a decent size? Yeah. Yeah, when my girlfriend and I first met, I had the master bedroom in this house. My bed was in the middle, surrounded by floor-to-ceiling cages and racks. And I had vaulted ceilings in there. I really went up. So yeah, we were sleeping right next to snakes, taking dumps in their racks right next to our head. If you were to ask me 6 months ago about the species I kept and things like that, I'd have told you the only species I'm working with are rainbow boas, and I'm limiting it to just the Brazilians. Well, that changed, obviously. And then, the carpets, I'm obsessed. I kind of can't help my I need to have all of them mentality. Like, I want all the subspecies and localities and stuff eventually. So that's an itch that's never done being scratched. I used to love working with big snakes and berms and stuff. I definitely don't have the space for that. Carpets are the perfect size. Well said. Yeah, and then I don't do colubrids because they crap a lot, but I have my Crebos that I'm infatuated with and my giant hognose. So that's kind of where I draw the line. So I'm like intentionally limiting myself because anymore I won't have the time to clean everything, and I've kind of found this happy medium of what I can afford as far as my budget goes. So yeah, I've been woken up to the smell of poop in the middle of the night. I've literally had my OG, like normal wild type ball python, wake me up in the middle of the night taking a big dump in the rack, and her slot was right next to my head. My girlfriend and I both woke up in the middle of the night and looked at each other like, no way. Yes way. After that, she decided my thought of having a designated snake room wasn't so crazy after all. There are ways, gentlemen and ladies, if your guy's on the fence too. Terry, you would love carpets, especially like a Papuan or something. Not big, really mellow, very active, something you can interact with. I love them. They're fun. This girl's just been sitting here the whole time, kind of just chilling out. Most of my other snakes would probably get annoyed with me. Happy Sunday. Yeah, happy Sunday. So, I don't know, we've been getting on half an hour here, and I started it early, and I don't really care about how long we go if you guys are in, but Oh, nice. That's right. You got a pair of Brandon Southers. Those are gonna be sweet. Oh yeah, it was cool that he had success with those. Um, yeah, yeah. You're gonna take some bites for sure. At least they're little. You know, that's kind of fun. Um, so I'm gonna put this girl back, but I'm thinking we'll keep doing this carpets and coffee thing as long as I'm getting the feedback that I am. Oopsies. Oh my. Hang tight, everyone. Ow. So we'll keep doing this carpets and coffee thing. I'm having fun with it every week. I seem to get great feedback from somebody saying, you know, how cool of an idea it is and how much they're enjoying it. I love how much you guys interact with all of this, and this is really cool. Hey, what up, Ed? And it's fun because the whole idea was to start a live stream to fill in the consistency, so I wasn't like inactive on here. Still bring carpet python content and do stuff without the time commitment of prepping videos. But it's growing kind of in the same way that a lot of other podcasts do, where it starts off with a focus and it expands. So as much as I'd like this to stay carpet python centric, you know, we might have to expand a little bit and kind of show off some other species and things just to keep things fresh, and we'll keep the carpets as the main focus. What'll really help me with that is getting suggestions from all of y'all. If you're curious about carpet pythons but don't know anything about them and have specific questions, message me or feel free to just tune in and throw them up live. Yeah, you know, you guys generate this content here. Like, y'all can really determine how this goes. But getting back to that whole comment of only working with rainbow boas, you guys know I breed Brazilian rainbow boas, and they're like very close to me. I've always kind of shied away from the Colombians, just because I already had rainbows. And although they still have that wonderful iridescence, that kind of purplish, earthy color was, you know, they're never for sale. It's because I sold out before I even got a chance to put them online. It was nuts. I've always shied away from Colombians because oh, thanks. I've always been a fan of, like, if you keep a species, you should keep the natural wild type variety and be able to appreciate that. In this instance, it wasn't planned, so I'm obviously breaking my own rule, but I picked up a high red animal from Ike Leitner finally this year, and no, not chondros. Jeez, Justin, one track mind. Carpets and coffee shirts in the future. I was thinking about that. We could probably do a limited run at some point. I'm down. Back to Colombians. I like keeping a species that I appreciate its wild type, and then if there are morphs or other varieties, then I'll get into that. So I never got into Colombians because I never really was fond of the natural wild type, but they sort of grew on me. And then I picked up a high red from Ike Leitner, finally a high red Brazilian, and the day he was going to ship her out to me, he proposed another arrangement, so to speak, and the details are irrelevant, but I wound up not only getting that high red animal, but I also got a Colombian rainbow boa, and not just any Colombian rainbow boa, but a leucistic. And if you guys have seen those, you know that they're just like one of the best like Lucies out there. There's a lot of cool Lucies and ball pythons and berms and a few others that are just like that really stark white with those blue eyes, but I don't know, seeing this in person was pretty insane. She's got like this pink yellow undertone with these blue eyes with a red pupil. Holy crap, y'all. So she's been a treble feeder, which is part of the arrangement. This is a Colombian rainbow. I don't know if there is a Lucy in Brazilians. There's starting to be other morphs, but this is a CRB. Anyway, it's really hard with the light. Oh, there you go. You can see some of that blue eye, but maybe I can do a little. There we go. You got a little water on your nose, sweetheart. She's no, you're good, man. So she came to me basically as a non-feeder, and sometimes when you ship an animal across country, their dietary preferences change for whatever reason. So she came to me as a non-feeder, wasn't eating for Ike, wasn't eating for me initially, and only just took her first meal on her own. Still needs a little bit of assist feeding, but with a little bit of teasing, she actually grabbed and ate her on her own. She's been eating a ton, regardless whether it's assist fed or taking it, and she's growing and doubled in size and shedding a bunch. So hopefully in the near future there will be no more assist feeding and she'll just be taking it on her own. But so much for only working with Brazilian rainbow boas, huh? Good to see you, Cecilia. This always ends up getting put on the channel afterwards, so feel free to catch back up later if you'd like. But thanks for tuning in. So yeah, so now I've got this little beauty, and I'm gonna spend the year thinking about whether or not I need more. I mean, I need more, but like, which ones? So now I'm doing research on all the Colombian stuff. But anyway, she's an absolute sweetheart. Maybe that's why she's not such a good feeder. She just doesn't have a mean bone in her body. But she's adorable. We'll have to come up with a name for her. A very fitting name. Nothing Casper or Ivory or Bones or none of that really played out stuff. We'll come up with a good one for her. But anyway, this will remain Carpets and Coffee, but maybe we'll have to do some spin on it, like Colombians and Coffee, or Cribos and Coffee, or Cranky Trebos and Coffee. There was a C in there, right? But yeah, we'll keep it Carpets and Coffee. What do you think about in the future of doing split live where others can show their... Yeah, actually, I've been talking about finding a way to make that work. There is a way to do it. Currently, with how I'm running these, I can't do it, but it is doable, and I know some people who are doing it, so I'm going to try and figure out some sort of arrangement to do that for the coming future. I don't know when. But I think it'd be cool to have somebody on here drinking coffee and waking up and chilling and talking too, because there's only so much I can say before y'all are sick of me. So keep coming with suggestions and ideas, and we'll keep letting this thing evolve and do some stuff. Yeah, I've seen a few people do it. I think it is doable. So I just might need to upgrade some equipment on mine and make my quality better. But all right, well, y'all have a good rest of your Sunday. Think of any questions or topics or anything you want to hear about in the future. If anybody still hasn't gotten their Riley's Reptiles t-shirts, come and get them. Hit me up. I got a bunch. I think I got another 50 or so. Awesome Christmas presents. It's coming up. All right. Anyway, have a good one, y'all. Love, peace, and chin grease.